Manoj. Yeah, I just started recording.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so uh, I'm handing over to the Manoj. Manoj, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yagnik. So about me, my name is Manoj Kumath. I'm working for Dynamic Doc based out of Sweden as a technology lead. I have over 11 years of experience with all .NET stack. I am an OMAP technology since last year and pretty much involved with the e-com, B2C, B2B sometimes, CMS, campaigns, order flow, and some architectural stuffs. And I feel this is such an amazing opportunity to be able to present on a cutting edge solution, which is convenient to use and targeting various business markets. And it is exciting. And at the same time, I think I'm over with my introduction. Over to you, Rajesh.
Okay. Hello, guys. Myself, I'm Rajesh. I'm in the IT professional for over 16 years now and have worked with various clients across different domains and have gained experience for being certified and subject matter expert for Optimizely products and services. Currently, I'm associated with Tech Mahindra as practice head and architect, and I've been currently working with Optimizely for several years now, and I'm passionate about helping businesses achieve their goals through digital transformation. Happy to be part of this demo and looking forward for sharing the insights with you. Let's begin with. So beginning with, we will be looking at what we'll be covering for today in this table of content, where we'll be looking at the SaaS core, its features and key benefits. Then we'll be looking into some of SaaS offerings in compare with PaaS or self-hosting services. Then we'll look at the SaaS core architecture and its main components, along with a quick view over the SaaS CMS dashboard and GraphQL editor view. And finally, we will be moving to a demo where we'll view the SaaS CMS graph services, GraphQL editor, and some part of Vertex, which is the front end output view for one of the examples that we are looking at. If we look at what is SaaS Core, it is essentially a headless SaaS CMS. It is bringing in all the benefits and features with the SaaS. It is a composable architecture, meaning it combines different reusable technology stacks to create one unified system that can communicate via APIs. So it is API first architecture that we'll be looking at. With SaaS, as expected, the benefits which we always see is one-click provisioning, quick and easy onboarding, any of pre-built templates and editors, direct no-code solutions, and native integrations, native with the Optimizely stack, all under the one composable architecture only. It will be versionless, meaning it will always receive benefits from newest features and latest innovations as soon as they are published, and reducing the cost and complexity for any upgrades or maintenance that is required separately. It is again an API first architecture, so you have flexibility and freedom of your choice to plug in any of your existing technical stack or use best in class tools and front end frameworks of your choice. There is one visual experience builder. It is a new user friendly headless visual experience builder, which is currently in progress in development. It will make designing and building experiences easier than ever before for all the channels. It will also work with data in graph and also be compatible with uh, PaaS core specifically. But just to mention that Visual Builder is still in its early stages of development, so we may have to wait to hear for its launch version. Here, it is all going to be under one orchestrate product landscape, which is like you look at the choice of underlying architecture. In that, you will see content marketing platform for workflows and governance, digital asset management within the same place, It also includes content recommendation, intelligence, and etc., which was always there as part of PaaS or the other services. It's all under the one solution. So it allows you to choose from the underlying architecture, whether you go with PaaS or you go with SaaS. This means that if you want to buy a CMS, you can either get it self-hosted or infrastructure as a service or directly as a SaaS offering, what you call it as. Optimizely will allow you to upgrade the options in case you are on SaaS and you want to move some options of not having what you are looking into the SaaS portal. You can always move it to the PaaS or self-hosting any other ones with some quick updates, which is supported from Optimizely. For customers who don't need a lot of customizations and want to launch with easy to go options, SaaS Core is a better option for them. And you can just get started within few minutes. It is based on award-winning CMS core, to be specific, provide infrastructure as a service, and auto upgrade support. So these are the main keys by which the SaaS core is winning on the case. It is best for time to value with out-of-box integration. So one of which you will be looking as content graph, which will be seen in the demo that we'll be presenting to you today. With SaaS CMS, you won't have much of developers learning curve. So you won't require any of .NET knowledge or anything else which was previously there, but you need to learn how to utilize the CMS core is only thing what you need to know about. It is always headless first approach with SaaS core. So that is one of the benefits and reason for going with the SaaS core for opting one of the options. By now, you must have got an idea how you would only use the standard features and out-of-box services for SaaS core should be a choice. If you have more customizations, you can later upgrade to PaaS or self-hosting, like I said, but this is how the SaaS core offerings goes. Moving to the architecture for SaaS core, let me allow Manoj to take up the show from here. Over to you, Manoj.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh, for wonderful insights of SaaS combined with other offerings from Optimizely. It is exciting to see Optimizely is now targeting various business markets which were not explored in extensive manner previously. I'll be focusing more on architectural design, what SaaS has to offer. And this is how it looks like. You have support of Optimizely identity, which is a single point of login key, kind of channeling through system to system. And this is now supported with SaaS. It has been there for a while. For DXP, I think, for commerce, for CMS 12, and for CMP, for ODP. So you can use the same Optimizely identity to switch the context, switch from application to application. And then, of course, you have a better CMS UI, little improved with contents, how you defined, how you define your properties, model your content types. So it is easy to navigate for someone who is not so technically savvy. And for devs, it has support of content management APIs to define and create your contents within the application. So you will have a setup on your front end that you can communicate with the CMS APIs, REST APIs similar to content delivery, and it is easy to set it up. There are a lot of articles, and the recent one from Vinesh, who is in this meeting as well. So it is very well versed with all these API keys to communicate and define the contents. And on the top of that, you get support of Optimizely GraphQL, a very nice editor tool where you can see your content types, query them out, see how the result will look like, kind of control your output and the request and response things. So this is sort of a package which is bundled with SaaS, and it is really easy to use it with the system. So in the next slide, Rajesh, can you move to the next slide, please? Yeah. So when you have the access for SaaS, you will the first screen that you will land on will be the dashboard. And as I said, you have pretty much everything that you want to move forward as a beginner. You can go through the documentations, which how do you want to define your contents, And if you're a dev, you can go to the API documentation as well, the endpoints, how you can create and define your endpoints. And then you have uh, the documentation for GraphQL as well, secret keys that you can generate from here and channel it out to your front-end application. You can use the same API keys to communicate front-end to back-end, and then just back and forth. And better workflow status, kind of blame somebody who has not been through the same workflow. So you have a nice overview of what your contents are residing in the workflow status. And then of course broken links. And then in the left pane you have the navigation tree, which will give you access to the editor, to the reports, to the settings, so to the admin panel where you'll see schedule jobs and all sort of things with the CMS UI. So I think in the next slide, Rajesh, if you can move to, this is what you will see when you are in the portal. You will see a very nice UI editor for GraphQL. As I said, you can see all your content types, and say for an instance that we'll see extensively in the tech demo as well. But you can select your content types and kind of control your data, what you want to see, what you want to get, and then it will have a query ready for you that you can channel it out to the front end, or it's easy to control the output and the request. So this is pretty much, I think, what is SaaS has for us to offer to. And we will see that in an extensive manner. I think this is a time for demo now. Over to you, Yagnik, if you're ready.
Yeah. Thanks, Rajesh and Manoj, for the in-depth overview of the SaaS and the capabilities. So guys, let's see, in the action how the, CMS will look like, and like how the graph editors will work. We also have a example Muzi Bank front-end site, which is built by the Optimizely in the React and Next.js. So we all know LOI site in MVC. That is one of the standard website to start with. Similarly, you can take as a base as a Muzi Bank, which is like a headless application, uh, talking to the graph services and with the on-page editing support. So you can, take a reference how the front-end application will look like, architecture and the structure. We'll also see like quick overview of the Vercel, which is like a front-end app hosting provider. Because once you subscribe for the SaaS platform, Optimizely will give you the link and the domain name to log in for your SaaS CMS. But it is not the past where you can have your front-end code as well as your back-end CMS on the same deployment, because it's purely headless. So you need to plan the hosting of your front-end app. It may be Vercel or any other provider. But yeah, here we'll see, how can we, utilize the Vercel as a hosting provider for the front-end app. Let me share my screen and we'll see. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, I can see.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you might wondering, Manoj has already given the depth overview of the dashboard. Like, it's a quick actions, define the content where you can define your content types. It may be a blog, pages, media, or property groups, or a tab that you can define over here with the help of REST API. You can say it is something similar to content management API that what we used to in the past portal by adding the Nugget packages. It is something similar inbuilt in the SaaS platform. Create content, which is something similar to the content delivery API and content, connection API, where you can create the content blocks to the REST API, and you can also able to import the content as well. So you can get the benefit of this, API to make some automations by creating the content types and the content in a single go or some automated way, in case you would like to do. Render content, which is mostly related with the Optimizely graph services, where So, I think you guys know what is Optimizely Graph. It is additional services where your CMS content is indexed and you can make a query to those index data for your front-end application to retrieve. It is, you might worry, it is something similar to the Optimizely search and navigation, which is fine, but it is not a replacement of the Optimizely search and navigation, but it is more advanced than search and navigation, where it is in terms of like, performance wise, you can easily make the query, you can do the paginations, you can make an advanced uh, query your data, filtering, and you can use the data how you want. And the best thing, you can request only those data which is required to build your applications or a component. We'll see in the detail. And here in the C edit mode, it is exactly the same as what is in the past CMS. So guys, just to make sure, it is not a new CMS ultimately. So when you say Optimizely SaaS CMS Core, it's the same CMS, but it's new offering as a SaaS. Ideally, it is hosted on the existing PaaS portal on the DXP environment, but as a customer or a partner, you will not have access for the deployment or to have a log or anything similar to PaaS portal. So you only get the your URL of the CMS SaaS and subscriptions. And as Manoj said, with your Opti ID, it will also give you the Opti ID as a part of subscription, which is used for the login. Here, as it for like API first approach and the SaaS, there is a no way you can write your any backend code or .NET code, or you cannot define a code first approach to deploy your content type. But yeah, if you see the editing interface is exactly same way how you can doing in the past CMS. So you well work with the all the different features of the CMS very well. Yeah, there are a few components and widgets are currently disabled, which is not yet compatible with the SaaS and the Graph API. Example, forms are not yet, it is in progress. It might be coming soon, the forms. Apart from that, there are the visitor groups. You might see the projects at the bottom for the collaboration. So few things are disabled. It might be turned on once it is ready. But yeah, ultimately it's the same CMS. Uh, Here in the navigation, you can also see the Optimizely Graph, which is Optimizely Graph services. You can also use the Optimizely Graph in your past CMS by installing the Nugget package for the Optimizely graph.core or graph.cms for the integrations, and you will have a similar dashboard for the Optimizely Graph. So this is like about the Optimizely Graph. We will not much focus on the other REST API because I think we better know how we doing the API call for creating the content and getting the data or getting data from the REST API. I just quickly show you, in the Postman, I just have like few sample endpoint to generate the XX token, how to create the tabs, content type, list the content type, edit the content, etc. But we will not go into much detail. But yeah, this is how you can just verify your API and the data. We'll much more focus on the Optimizely graph. And the best thing I like, I love it to have a inbuilt GraphQL editor, and it is so easy to write a query if someone new to Optimizely Graph and they are new to with the syntax, because it's a schema which is already indexed in the graph server, so you can browse that schema and you can write the query accordingly the schema what is indexed on your graph server or a document which is indexed on your graph server. Here you can see the document explorer, which is all your documents or you can say content types which are indexed into the graph server. You very well aware of the optimized search and navigation dashboard where there is the options to explore the content type which are indexed, and you can have a sample data, you can retrieve data which is indexed in the search and navigation. So something similar, you can say it is over here. Whatever your content type within the optimized default content type, you can see I content are the inbuilt interface and the content or a base class. You can search your other custom content type, example landing page, or you can say hero blog. So either your content or a schema is exactly indexed or not in the graph services. This all the schemas you can also drill down to the particular schema, example hero blog, and you can see what are the attributes of the content type, right? So there are inbuilt attributes like children's, it is like a modified or not, content link with the ID and the UID, name of the content. Apart from that, you might have your own custom property, example, background, banner title, background. Other you can see is the default optimizely I content properties over here. But yeah, so this is how you can see the types and all the content schema. Let's quickly jump, on the query part. Here, you can see all your objects and, let me start with the new query over here. And, if I'm new to the GraphQL, you can easily open the particular content type or a schema which you want to retrieve. So here you can, I want to retrieve the data of the hero block, and it's collections, items, all the hero blocks content from the CMS. And I can say, okay, I want example banner title, and you can see your right hand side query is building automatically banner text. You may have a facet inbuilt, which might be useful for the paginations or the advanced search page. You can also have a name of the page, or you can have a URL or a content link of the page. You have a conditions. Okay, I want to banner text with the title equal to XYZ or something equal to XZ. So there are lots of inbuilt conditions, and for the your comparisons. There's also option for the order buys, and for the limit, okay, how many content you want. So here, if I run the query, what it does, it will make a query to the Optimizely Graph services, and it will look for all the content of the type hero block, and it's a collection, right? You will see all the objects of the block. You can write a custom query and retrieve the particular component. You can query by the ID, GUID, by particular title. If I say something here, just quick query, I want to compare this is my background title. I want to compare, what is my banner title, and I can say it's like or something, and I can just put something. So here you can see the only those content which is matching your data. Maybe I need to just check contents or something. Yeah. See, so you can see only one object of the type hero block having the title contains something. So there are you can have advanced complex query as well. So this is how you can retrieve the content. And same content you can also test with your postman query. You can put the query, and the best part I love, it's like parameterized query, right? So you can always have a parameters. Okay, what should be your parameter for your query? Multiple parameters. You can also search by the language. Okay, I want to get the content for a particular language, like locally, right? So it's like English or whatever language enable, you will see automatically. It's all like intelligence. You get the easily intelligence for your objects. Same thing in the autofetch schema. So even you writing a query in the your postman, you can still have a intelligence of your content type. So that's best things for the beginner to write the query. Okay, so this is all about the optimizely graph and the query. There is a job which is responsible to index your content to the Optimizely Graph services. So it's it's like again like something similar to Optimizely search and index services. I'm just relating every time with the AP server search and navigation. So okay, because you have a more understanding of the AP server find and the search and navigation. So it is something similar. Whenever your content is published, there is a job which will sync the data. Uh, Here in the scheduled jobs, you will see the two jobs. One is optimize the graph content synchronization job, which will do the full indexing of all the content. And there is a delta, which is indexed only for the latest or recent changes, which is not an index. One more thing, you can see the new things in your editing experience. Example, this is my page. And in the options, there is one more option says synchronize with Optimizely graphs. In case you publish something and maybe for some reason data is not indexed or anything, you can specific content you can index or a blog with the Optimizely graph services. So that is one of the new things that you can see in the Optimizely SaaS CMS. Yeah. Now coming back to the Bank demo. Here you can see it is like a example website from the Optimizely, and here is the you can see get started with the Vercel. If you follow this link, there is a Git repository. We'll share the link in the chat if you don't have. It's like a fully working front-end application built on the React plus Next.js with the on-page editing support. There's a step-by-step guide how you can configure this with the Optimizely SaaS. But yeah, you need the account for the Optimizely SaaS CMS. Here I have a already configured, and deployed to the Optimizely SaaS on the Vercel. If you are new to the Vercel, there is a vercel.com with the front-end hosting provider where you can sign up. There is a free hobby account. You can make a small POC, and the example side you can deploy on the hobby. There is no cost for the hobby account, but you can also like a professional account or pro account for your production website. And you can not only for the only for the Optimizely front end site or the headless site, you can deploy any front end applications on this platform, and it's like have a nice portal like similar to past portal. There is you can see it's a portal for the front end application because nothing to deploy on the SaaS CMS, but yeah, you mostly working on the headless applications. You are building your new component on the front end, and that is how you can use this tool for your automatic deployment and CI/CD pipeline. This is the project I deployed on the Vercel, and if I go this portal, this the example site deployment when it was last deployed, created. You can see your deployment logs and lots of things are there. So here you can see your deployment summary, your ongoing deployment, your build log of your front end application is something broken on the front end. You can easily understand from here. Uh, there is a few settings over here, like if you remember there is a environment variable. So same thing is also over here. You have an environment variable that can be configured for a different environments. And if you see I clone the same repository, in my local machine. Let me show you how it look like. There is a environment file which is like all your environment variables that can be also configured, from the virtual application, right? So whatever is defined in the code that can be override from the portal. So if you define your variables over here, it can be it can take the effect. So in the settings tab, you can see environment variables, right? So you can see like, okay, I have a site domain, DXP URL, content graph secret, key. So all your secret credentials, that's what I have over here. Instead of the code, you can also plan to put it in the virtual environment variable. Now I'm coming back to the code. So this is how the quick walkthrough of the code, how it look like. Let me open, yeah, this is like maybe on the front-end side. So I know there are many guys who work on the backend and they are new to React and the Next.js, but yeah, it is still like good to refer this reference site. The SRC, we have a app, and like here we have a different components, like all the blocks. That what we do on the front end side, right? You might be like TypeScript, and the TypeScript X for your markup. So this is your markup of the component. This is the data how you are getting. See, it is the example reference architecture. You are free to build your own architecture, whatever you use, like not only for the React, but you can use the Vue or Angular or Webpack, whatever you are good. You are free to define your front end architecture. So this you can see like an example graph query to query the data, and then you can get the response from the graph query, and you can bind that data to your markup. There is one example on the on-page editing here. So like you can see there is one attribute when a title, and you can see the is edit mode. If it is true, it will make this property is editable on the front end side. So is that something like interesting, because both are different code base, different hosting, different environment, but you can still enable or link your CMS SaaS and with your front end application, and you can still enable like on the editing on the client side. So how you do on the like property 4 on your MVC razor view. That is same thing, something you can achieve over here. There is a important key settings to enable the on-page editing. So if you go to the settings and you might aware of the manage website over here. This is I have configured the Mozibank website, and if you see the host name, this is my SaaS CMS domain. I mark as a type editing, so this will treat as a your CMS editing for the SaaS, and this is my domain of the my front-end applications, and that can be marked as a primary. So this will be considered for the on-page editing preview when you edit the blog or a content over here. This is my hero blog content.
Sorry, what is the difference that edit type and primary?
So this is your CMS URL over here for the SaaS. So edit means this is the domain that you are using for the content editing purpose for the CMS content authoring. So this is your edit URL, and the primary is your actual public website or a front-end website. This. So once you configure this, because this is my primary website which is visible to visitor, right? And this CMS is my editing URL only for the content authoring. So that's why we configure this as an edit, and we configure your actual production or content website as a primary, because this is your primary website for the visitors and for the public. So you mark this as a primary.
Yeah.
So Optimizely SaaS will take this primary domain and will try to load as and support the on-page editing. So now you can see hero content. This is my blog. So if I click and it's open the hero banner, and once I click on the hero banner, you can see all the properties. So it's like exactly same feeling like how you do for the your hybrid or your past MVC razor view engine, right? It's exactly same thing. So as an editor, there is no difference for them. It's like a SaaS or it's like a pass portal. Like Optimizely try to give the as much as similar experience for the marketing and for the editors. As a smooth editing experience as to the same PaaS platform. There are many more widgets, as I said, might be coming up or enabled down the time, like projects and forms later on. Like just changing like quickly. Okay, it's like just refreshing the content, right? And if I publish over here, you can see like it's your front end application. Let me see if it's reflecting on the website or not. Yeah, there is Webhook is implemented in the front-end applications, which is responsible to trigger and refreshing your content. So then I might need to, yeah, and like it's like a webhook, so we have a full control on the front-end side to invalidate the cache and all these things. Let me try one more time. Is it refreshing or not? Yeah, it's less. But yeah, anyway, if you are hosting on the Vercel, on the platform, there is a one endpoint, that Vercel API content and publish where, you can pass your token and you can invalidate your cache. So, if I refresh this endpoint, if for some reason, it is from the Vercel, right? It is not always there for the Optimizely, SaaS. But yeah, if you can plan your own architecture, there might be a way to invalidate the cache or trigger the hook to clear all the content from the cache. See, I can see my changes on the website, but here is how on-page editing will work. So this is, all about the SaaS offering, about the Vercel, how you can utilize the Vercel platform for your hosting your front-end applications and the query part of the GraphQL. So, as a subscription, once you subscribe for the SaaS CMS, you'll get the Opti ID, as Manoj said, for the login and the URL, and that's it. And then, uh, there are businesses or customers who are not much dependent or they have a limited backend development effort, or like they don't have that much complex integrations in the place, and they want to build a quick content-based website. So this is the right candidate for them to you can build the website your own without any much backend development. So this is all about SaaS CMS with the Mozibank and the Vercel. Any questions? Query?
Uh, Hi. I'm Akash Borkar. I have one question. I'm new to Optimizely, so I'm only familiar with the code first approach. We have page types and blocks, and then we create controllers and then render them. So in the SaaS offering, who will define this page type and block? Will we
Yes.
get them by default, like out of the box?
Yeah. So here, yeah, good thing. So here you are right. There's no any way you can define the code, but it is similar to Optimizely part platform. There's a content type, and you can define the content type manually. No any code first approach. Or as I said, you can use the REST API, and you can write this or your own client side script with the REST API to define your content type. There is a
Okay.
manage API client, where you can define your API client to generate the access token, and whatever the client ID you create, you can configure the permissions over here. uh, like this is my client API client, and like so once you hit the REST API, either your client will be allowed to create the content, publish the content, and you may have multiple client, and you can still define your API to automated way to define a content type, or you can straightforward come to the CMS, and yeah, it's like something new interface compared to SaaS. If you get the new content type, if I open this one, there's like something new interface that is introduced in the SaaS. Here you can
Mhm.
easily create the new property. Okay, I want to create a new
Okay.
property of type text. And okay, I can say example, um, call to action title, right? And this is my name. So this is like exactly same attribute what you use as a
Mhm.
code first approach. All attributes you can define from the UI. This is your type of text. You can have like
Okay.
a blocks, content, date and time. Within the text, you can like have a long string, short string. In the link item, you can define okay like link collections, URL document, external link. So it's like same thing what you did from the content type code first approach you can do over here, right? And you can define the groups as well. So this how there's a nice interface to is like a more friendly than the past. Over here you can easily change the order of your of your property over
Properties.
here, and you can even the sort index, everything is there. But yeah, again, it is pure headless, and from the client side, whatever you can do, either you can utilize the inbuilt API for the REST API for the content definitions and the content creations, or you can do them manually.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yagnik,
Thank you
there
for
was one
that.
quick query that was mentioning about how we can open up GraphQL in case we don't know how to write. Would you be able to help with one quick example of content graph query writing where you are like basic thing of how to build a query from scratch?
Yeah. So here, uh, there is a the easiest way if you are new to the graph query. What you can do from this window here, you can create the query, new query, new
It might be an
query.
example. It might be an
Yeah.
example of
Yeah.
pulling
So
a field
this is
from
a
any report.
yeah. Yeah, so this is like query. So whatever content type you want to like retrieve. Example, I want to get the the landing page, right? Or any content type. Here you can explore the schema of your landing page. Is all the property with some additional conditional attributes to write a query. In the items, it's a collection of all your data. Here you can see like all the inbuilt optimizely property like link, modified, like route segment, URL segment, relative path. So what is the parent, meta title, description? I can just click on the any property I want, name. I want the content link for my query where I want to do something additional query. After that, I want the URL, and like it's like it's so easy for the if you're new, or you can always feel free to type a quick intelligence. Okay, I want the example a language. Nice. Okay, I want example meta title or a URL, right? So it's like all like you can easily use the schema to get the content. So if it is the object, you need to define another attribute because it's the object, right? The language, I want the link of the language, I want the display name, or like all the attributes. Right, is how you can write the query, right? Here I want like I want to like the query by the ID, or so guys, all the attributes, whatever you have in your content type in the code first approach, everything is there with additional capability of filtering, pagination, searching, and many more lot.
Nick,
Yeah,
since we are on time, we should do it quick. I think Deepak has one more question.
yeah, please.
Yeah, very simple question. Like, what is the starting point here actually, if I want to go for it?
So as a starting point, you need to first subscribe or need to purchase the Optimizely SaaS CMS subscriptions, and they will
Mm-hmm.
provide you the your URL of your SaaS subscription and the Opti ID, and then you can, it's very quick onboarding. You can just get this login, and you can start. You can just define your content type. You can define your website. You can build your parallel front end application. Very quick onboarding. You just need like the SaaS URL, CMS URL, and the Opti ID.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a
Okay.
headless and the API first approach, no any development required apart from the front end app. And it may be like any front end client, it may be a web client or mobile client. You are free to use or define your front end stack, whatever technology, front end technology you want to use, you are free to use it. The thing what you can utilize, okay, graph query and get the data from the CMS, and you can render it, build it how you want.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thanks. Thanks for this one update.
So, Yagnik, just one question from my side. So if we have to do some sort of POC on this SaaS, how can we approach that?
See, for the POCs, I can suggest a couple of things. If you already have a subscription for the SaaS, it is quick way to start. But if you already have a subscription for the past CMS, you can use the Nugget package from the Optimizely for the graph services. So like, if you remember, like similar to episode find and search and navigations, you can install the content graph code and this is a CMS integration. So once you install this package in your PaaS platform in the code first approach, you will see this navigations, optimizely graph and your current past CMS data. So it is not like that optimized graph is only with the SaaS. You can also use with the with the on-premises or on the PaaS portal. As Rajesh said, like it's like a backward compatibility. So you can always use with your PaaS portal as well. So once you index your data, you can query it and you can build your front-end applications. So yeah, but you require definitely some front-end knowledge, either whatever you go with the React or Vue.js, and you need some basic knowledge of building a front-end application. Apart from that, here Optimizely also provide like I think we are running out of time, but yeah, it's fine. Uh, Here, there are many examples. You can see our examples from this portal, Content Graph SDK, and there are so many examples given, like music festival backend side with the graph call and graph API services, React.js, Next.js. So you can always clone and you can explore the how it is built.
Okay, maybe if I can ask one last question. Sorry
Yeah,
for
please.
that. So what I have observed in last maybe couple of years is that people are moving out of the Optimizely or maybe the API server earlier name. Right? So and how they are moving out is rather than utilizing the functionalities or the things that Optimizely is having in itself. Let's say whether it is content marketing platform or whether it is personalization or all those features. So rather than using those, they are building something of their own, like sort of customizing those things and using Optimizely just as a only for the content creation or updation of those things. So, like, what is your take on that?
Yeah, so it's like it's like a depends. So this is CMS is like like one of the ultimately product, right, for the content creations and building your content based website, right? So it is personalizations are on top of that, because we know content is the core, right? Without content there is nothing to do. No any personalizations, no visitor groups, no any experimentation. So that is the, I think, the not only the optimization but any CMS is the must for for your public website, right? So it is nothing like moving away like from CMS. So CMS is always like it's a key component of your of your application. I'm not sure if I understand correctly. You answer your question or not. Is it correct? I answered your question.
Yes, yes, I mean, somewhat.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can still, leverage the other optimization product along with the SaaS like personalization, experimentation, full stack. You can still use that one. And like, because we still like, have a optimizely, ODP data platform that all you can leverage.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And like now, before we end up, I would like to wish the happy Diwali and the prosperous New Year. As we know, there's a festival of light is starting from the next week. So thanks everyone. Thanks for the joining the call.
Thank you.
Thank
For
you.
the information.
Thank you, and
Happy
same to you,
Diwali.
team. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy
Bye,
Diwali.
guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy Diwali to everyone.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Yeah. Bye.